Hi, this is Carolyn Rubin-Koenig, and the passage that I chose to work with is taken from Act 1, Scene 3. At this point in the play, Othello has been charged by the Duke of Venice to go to Cyprus for the war against the Turks. Meanwhile, Othello has been secretly married to Desdemona. Both of these events are causing tension in the play. Iago, who is Othello's ensign, hates Othello for not promoting him to the position that Cassio instead got, and right before this passage, Iago is plotting with Roderigo, a man who is in love with Desdemona, on how to get what they both want. Shakespeare creates this first soliloquy with Iago as a means to give the audience insight into the depth of Iago's schemes and manipulation with the other characters for his own gain. This soliloquy is broken up into two major sections. In the first, Iago is making fun of how he is already manipulating Roderigo, who's a character in this play. Shakespeare has Iago say and open the soliloquy with, "Thus do I ever make fool my purse." Iago is making Roderigo his fool and uses this metaphor to literally get across the message that he is manipulating Roderigo for his own gain, and that Roderigo is as useful to him as getting money, as he says that he is his purse. By Shakespeare having Iago compare Roderigo to an inanimate object and not a person, portrays Iago as an arrogant man and one who thinks lowly of others and highly of himself. In this next excerpt, "For I mine own gain knowledge should profane, if I would time expend with such snipe but for my own sport and profit." Iago basically is saying that he wouldn't even be dealing with Roderigo unless it could benefit him in some way. Shakespeare uses diction to emphasize how Iago's manipulation is a game to him and for his own gain, as he says that it's for his own sport and profit. By Shakespeare depicting Iago as someone who is cavalier with others' lives as a game for his own gain, he makes himself a villain because he doesn't have any redeeming qualities. These two excerpts support my claim in that they are examples of how Iago's manipulation of other characters is apparent this far in the play. Shakespeare then goes on to reveal to the audience Iago's overall scheme to manipulate all the characters around him to their destruction and his gain. In this excerpt, "Cassio's a proper man. Let me see now, to get his place and to plume up my will in double knavery. How? How? Let's see, after some time, to abuse Othello's ear that Cassio is too familiar with his wife." In this quote, it exemplifies how Iago is planning to, quote-unquote, get his place and to plume up my will, or in other words, get Cassio's position that Iago felt he should have gotten in the first place. With diction that Shakespeare uses, it can be seen that Iago is plotting, and that the audience can see this by the language used. Quote-unquote, "let me see now," and how. By this language, it's seen when the play is acted out. We can see the wheels turning in Iago's head and how his villainy is coming to life. In this next quote, in which Iago is talking about Othello, "He holds me well, the better shall my purpose work on him. The more is of a free and open nature, that thinks men honest that but seem to be so, and will as tenderly be led by the nose as asses are." This excerpt is a prime example of Iago's manipulation once again. He knows that Othello thinks highly of him, and Iago is going to use that to ruin Othello. What I mean by this is that he believes that Othello is, quote-unquote, will be led as tenderly by the nose as asses are. Therefore, he thinks that Othello is easily manipulated. This is a metaphorical example, and it literally implies that Othello is easy to manipulate. Both of these excerpts support my claim in that Iago manipulates others for his own gain, and it shows the villainy in his plot and what he is planning to do. In conclusion, the meaning Shakespeare conveys with this passage is insight into Iago's manipulative mentality and also his plot to get what he wants. This is significant to the rest of the play because it sets into motion the events that unfold, which are Iago's plan to frame Cassio and Desdemona in an affair which he knows will make Othello go crazy, since Othello will believe Iago, as Othello thinks him to be an honest man, which will then get Iago the promotion he feels he should have gotten. If it wasn't for this selection, this soliloquy, Shakespeare wouldn't have gotten across as much dramatic tension in the play, because the audience is aware of Iago's plot, but the characters aren't, which the audience knows. By making the characters unaware to Iago's plot, it adds more tension, because the reader is reading the plans and the events unfold while they know that they are unbeknownst to the characters. The end.